time to talk some trade here on Fantasy Football Today, presented by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. It's the Wednesday show. It's my favorite show every week. We get to talk about whatever we want and have a lot of fun for an hour or so. And we welcome you in, everybody. If you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/fantasyfootballtoday. If you're not watching on YouTube, it's fun. I recommend it. It's good stuff. Who's the most added player in fantasy leagues on CBS? What do you think?
Fannin?
Harold Fannin.
Harold Fannin is not. He is sixth most added. What is?
Oh, Marquise Brown.
Marquise Brown, yeah. This is biggest increase in percentage. So Marquise Brown went from 31 to currently 62. It'll be even higher tomorrow when more waivers run. Harold Fannin still just 25% rostered, up from 5%. So Marquise Brown's number one. Who's number two?
It was exciting to get Harold Fannin, and then I saw one of your waiver reports. And the next, I bid $12 from one league, and the next highest bid was $1.
Isn't it fun though to click the full waiver?
Yeah, unless you're on the wrong side of it.
Yeah.
Who's number two? I'm going to guess Keenan Allen is number two.
Quentin Johnston.
Quentin Johnson, number two.
Quentin Johnson's number three. Number two is a collection of players. They'll play for the same team.
The Rams defense.
Yes, correct. All right. Number 4 is Juwan Johnson. Number 5, Kayshon Boutte. Number 6, Harold Fannin. Anyway, that was the waiver wire show. Today we're talking trade, and we're talking team names, apparently. Team Name Tuesday on a Wednesday, Heath.
Oh, and you got your Star Trek shirt on.
I do, just for you, buddy.
I didn't have any Star Trek team names yet, but I was looking for Harold Fannin specific team names, and I think the chat can probably do better than me. But I did like Fannin the Flame, especially if you have Demario Douglas and Harold Fannin, Douglas was a Liberty Flame, or Harold and the Henderson.
Oh,
Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah. I love that. That's very good. But you have to have Henderson on the team too.
You have to have Henderson on the team too.
Someone sent me Nico DeGaio, and I thought that was very funny. Very
yeah.
Good. All right, news and notes real quick here. Then we'll get into our favorite buy lows and sell highs. George Kittle's on IR. He's out at least 4 weeks. Juwan Jennings could play this week, and I've seen Juwan Jennings dropped in some leagues. He's down to 77% rostered. I know it's not that appealing if Brock Purdy's out, but Heath and I are putting in it. Well, I guess I shouldn't have said that for the other people in the league. Heath and I are putting in a claim for Juwan Jennings in the Leftovers League, 10-team Superflex League. And Brock Purdy will be questionable at New Orleans this week.
You did ruin maybe my best team name of the year.
Teacup?
The teacup celebration. The thing that you were so wrong about, and then you dropped Cooper Kupp.
That's what you were talking about. You were talking about the USA soccer team or the women's soccer teacup celebration that I did not like. That's funny. Do we have a Xavier Worthy update?
No.
Okay.
What'd they say? He was day to day, right?
Which I guess the takeaway was he's not going to have surgery yet. He's going to try to wear a brace and get through it. But that's all.
Not even ruled out for this week as of now for Xavier Worthy. So we shall see.
I guess not.
Same with Quinshon Judkins. We don't have an update necessarily, but there's a chance he could play this week at Baltimore. Quinshon Judkins. Dallas says they need to see more consistency from Jaden Blue before he is active. So if you're stashing Jaden Blue, it's a long-term play, and he's probably not going to be active this week against the
Giants. Dallas, Jerry.
Actually, it was Schottenheimer who said that.
He said it also.
Jerry said that he's probably not going to be active, and what I saw was that Schottenheimer said he needs to be more consistent. Philadelphia running back Will Shipley has fractured ribs, and Jalen Carter is going to play this week. Austin Eckler was limited. So this is a Thursday game. I don't think we're worried about Eckler, but this is big news. And you know what? Thomas Schaefer, producer, I forgot to put the game preview in the notes. We absolutely have to preview the Thursday night game today. So we're going to do that at some point. But the Packers could be without 2 starting offensive linemen, Zach Tom and Aaron Banks. Big deal. All right. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Tyreek Hill was accused of domestic violence. I don't know when it was. It wasn't like it happened super recently, but he's denying it.
Yeah, I don't think there was a win. It was alleged to have happened 8 times over the last few years.
Christian Watson signed a 1-year contract extension, $13.25 million. Watson is in a contract year, or he was in a contract year, so he will not be now. Giants linebacker Micah McFadden's going to be out for a long time with a leg injury. As soon as he left the game, Zach Ertz caught a touchdown on his backup. So keep that in mind for Jake Ferguson this week. Pittsburgh safety Deshaun Elliott's going to miss a couple of weeks. And as we look at injuries, I just talked about the Packers and them having potentially 2 linemen out this week for this short week against Washington. Which offensive lines are concerning you guys in terms of injuries right now and just overall performance?
You can start with the Dolphins. Yeah.
Giants.
Texans.
I don't know if the Patriots are hurt, but they're terrible.
Their Will Campbell isn't 100%, and their left guard is pretty raw. So, yeah. That'll make for a fun game between the Dolphins and Patriots. The Bears, just definitely some issues there. Not as bad as some of these other teams. Seattle. I thought Seattle's offensive line didn't do such a great job for their run game.
Okay. Yeah.
Cleveland. There's a lot of sus offensive line play, and it's week 1.
Right. It was
only going to get
well.
one.
That's the thing, though. Is like some of this will get cleared up just by it was week 1, and guys are working into their roles.
Rams have 2 guards that are injured.
Yeah, one of them should play, but sure, another team that's got some concerns.
I think a big takeaway for me, though, is 2 of the most concerning teams in the NFL in week 1 came into the year with bad offensive lines and have offensive line injuries now on top of it, and that's the Dolphins and the Texans. It's, do you even make a play for Nico Collins, as a buy low? I kind of want to just get out on Tyreek Hill. I mean, I don't know that I could even get Cortland Sutton for him, but Sutton was drafted after Tyreek Hill. I think I would just take this. I think Hill has much more upside, but infinite downside right now.
I didn't put any Dolphins on my buy lows, but I'm not selling until I see them against the Patriots. Like the Raiders just threw for 3. What's that?
It could be too late. Like they were so bad against the Colts. If they're bad against the Patriots, you're not going to get much for them. You know what I mean?
Right, but if they have a good game against the Patriots, it goes the other way, and then you might be able to get something good.
Totally. I don't know. It's early. It might be early to jump ship, but at the end, but gosh, things are so bad in Dolphins land. I can't believe I thought they might be good. It's 1 week. But it was it's a bad week. All right. Hey, we got a lot of great written content on the website. So we got early previews of each position. We've got obviously the waiver wire column still relevant for a lot of you. A trade chart. Dave does the trade chart. So check out cbsports.com/fantasy/football and all of our wonderful written content. And let's get into buy lows and sell highs. And Dave, you've got 4. I think you each gave about 4 names. So we'll go through them and tell me how you're feeling about them, what you might, I don't know. It's tough to come up with trades off the top of your head, but go ahead.
That's what the trade chart is for.
That is.
And so I can give you examples off of the trade chart, and then you can either say, oh yeah, that sounds about right, or oh gosh, that doesn't sound close at all. And that's beauty is in the eye of the beholder type of thing. Okay. So guys to trade for, Adam. AJ Brown tops the list for me. I know he didn't look great in week 1. Obviously the targets stunk in week 1. I think he'll get right. And I think the Eagles passing game will eventually come through. We know what he's capable of. And so if anybody is sour on him after 1 game and they're impatient, this is the time of year where the impatient fantasy managers are going to lose big time. Because I talked with a buddy before the show. Someone in his league dropped Terry McLaurin after week 1. He didn't even try and think about trading him or benching him. Straight up cut Terry McLaurin. It's ridiculous.
I love those 14 leagues.
It's not. It's a competitive 12-team league that he's in. Somebody dropped Terry McLaurin. It never happens in our league. That doesn't happen in our league. But if you can go and get AJ Brown at a discount of where he was drafted, his ADP was in the 20s. I say you go ahead and do that. There were 2 trades that I saw that involved AJ Brown. You guys react to these trades. This is not trade chart. This is just trades that actually happened in real life fantasy leagues. Somebody gave up Devontae Adams and Matthew Golden for AJ Brown.
Oh, I think that's fine. What do you think?
I felt like it was a little too much to give for AJ Brown, but I'm a Golden fan. How about this one? Jalen Waddle and Rashid Shaheed for AJ Brown.
Oh yeah, win.
Love it.
All right, so now rank these guys rest of season: AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Cortland Sutton, Tyreek Hill.
Brown, Sutton.
And then you pause. And I'm with you. I'm with you on that all the way. Yeah, you mentioned Sutton for Tyreek Hill, Adam. I would take Sutton over Tyreek Hill right now.
Yeah.
Closer in non-PPR. But in full PPR, I think Sutton is the safer bet.
Can I just say something about Davante Adams since he was part of that trade?
Please.
I tried to find who was shadowed by good cornerbacks this week, and he was shadowed by Derek Stingley. And he actually had some success. He beat him. He didn't have a great game, obviously, Davante Adams, but he had a 25% target per route run rate even when Puka Nacua was on the field, and he did get shadowed by Derek Stingley. So I thought that was, encouraging that he still got 8 targets, 4 catches for 51 yards, and I don't know, mostly like Davante Adams, not super explosive, but could get open. All right, go ahead. Who's next on your list?
TreVeyon Henderson is next on the list, and this is especially for people who see Henderson rostered by a manager who's impatient. 1 week does not make a season, and Henderson was clearly the better runner on film compared to Ramondre Stevenson, but neither of them could really get going in the Patriots offense. What's the first thing Mike Vrabel said after the game? We need to get the running game going. Who are they playing in week number 2? The Miami Dolphins. And as long as the offensive line doesn't manage to get worse, they can play at the same level they did last week. I think that they can find space for TreVeyon Henderson. Now is the time. We had one, and maybe it's the time for all the rookies that underwhelmed in week 1, because we definitely had high expectations for them. And there are glimpses of a lot of the rookies doing things that we expected. And I think TreVeyon Henderson is still on a trajectory to get more work and to be the best running back in New England. And there's an opportunity to get him at a little bit of a discount.
Jameson Williams is next for you. He had 5 targets out of 39 pass attempts at the Bears. The
thing that worried me the most about the Lions was the play designs, because they were running a lot of vertical routes right into the teeth of the zone coverage that the Packers were playing. Packers played a lot of too high shell. They did not blitz very much. They don't have to blitz very much. They've got a great pass rush, as everybody saw. And they need to have more horizontal routes. And we've heard Jacob Gibbs talk about that and how important that is. The fact that the Lions didn't adjust to that immediately is going to be an example of the difference between Ben Johnson and John Morton. And that was tough to see, but I think the matchups do get easier. If Chicago's secondary is still banged up this week, then by all means, Jameson Williams could have a blow-up game. I think the Lions bounce back in week 2. That's not saying anything special. So it's another buy low opportunity on JMO.
Obviously, Calvin Ridley was shadowed. I think most, if not all, of his targets came away from not all, but most came away from Patrick Surtain. So Calvin Ridley, and the fact that Cam Ward actually, a lot of people came away impressed with him.
Yes. Yeah. Even like his third throw of the game was outstanding. He's a good quarterback.
I mean, is giving up Tyreek Hill to get Calvin Ridley and what? Or by the way, if you think I'm crazy for trying to sell Tyreek Hill, then please tell me.
I mean, at this point, trying to get out from under it is not a bad idea if you're going to get fair value for him, because like you said, it could get worse, especially with some off-field situations looming and the potential of him getting traded, which may end up being better. If he goes to, let's say, the Chiefs, it could end up being worse. I saw the Steelers as a potential destination for him. That could be terrible. So if they're going to trade him, or, he decides to pull an Antonio Brown and just leave, there's just so many different ways this could go south for him, even worse than it is right now. So if someone's still going to value him at the same level, same draft cost, then sure, you should be trying to trade him. Would I trade him for Calvin Ridley? No,
I think the problem is what Jamie just hit on, though. Like we had the concerns coming into the year. We had a terrible week 1. We get a report about domestic violence allegations. I just don't know that you can trade Tyreek Hill right now for better than Calvin Ridley.
Ridley and Jalen Warren for Tyreek
No
Hill.
chance.
You'd keep Hill?
I wouldn't. I don't think anybody's giving you that.
Oh, you'd rather have Ridley. Wait, I'm sorry. What side of that would you rather be on, Heath?
I mean, I'd probably take Ridley and Jalen Warren, but I'd love to know, and the chat maybe can tell us, has anybody been able to trade Tyreek Hill lately in the last 2 days?
I think if all they're getting is Calvin Ridley and Jalen Warren, I don't think they want to, because the investment that they made in Tyreek Hill on draft day was much greater than that.
I'm going to go to I think I have him in 2 leagues. I'm going to go to one. I'm going to offer him for Cortland Sutton right now and just see what happens. All right. Last guy's Travis Hunter, Dave. Just real quick on that, and then we'll get to the other guys.
Again, another player that just didn't have a great week one, another rookie. There were flashes of him doing some good stuff. And I think Jacksonville's passing game is better than they looked in what'd they play? Like a little less than a half before the lightning strike.
Yeah.
And then after the lightning strike, it was a whole delay. After that, they really just didn't look good at all. So I don't really want to judge any part of the Jaguars passing game quite yet. And so if there's a chance to get Travis Hunter, who's clearly playing a lot of offense, clearly going to see a good amount of targets, I think you can pencil him in for a minimum of 4 catches a week, could be as high as 6 or 7. This week could be one of those weeks. Another player, just buy low.
It's time for football at BetMGM. Register with BetMGM to get instant access to the best variety of parlay selection features, no sweat and boost tokens, live betting options, and much more. New players can receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets with bonus code FANTASY if they don't win their first bet. You don't want to miss out on any of the hard-hitting action at BetMGM. Place your money line, parlay bets, and more today. BetMGM, make it legendary. And the bonus code is FANTASY. Quick break. Come back with Jamie's buy lows, Heath's buy lows. Then we'll tell you who to sell after this. Okay, Jamie, let's start with RJ Harvey. First of all, you also have Jameson Williams in your buy lows, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I do think, though, just one thing that's a little concerning about Jameson is if they're going to give Tesla more work, it's going to be a problem for all these guys because he's so talented. And how many targets will he take away from St. Brown and Laporta and even J-Mo? So I just wonder, like, are we going to get the Jameson that we were hoping for, the breakout that we were promised, from him, just if somebody else is now factoring into this?
I had the On the Box Score guys on FFT Dynasty yesterday. If you guys didn't listen to that, you should go listen to it. But Jacob was in the fantasy points data suite throughout the show and said his biggest concern was that J-Mo had a 2% route win rate in week one. They kind of asked him to do some new things and it didn't go particularly well, but I still agree with the buy low on him.
I don't love route depth. Now, Justin Jefferson had one of the highest route depths last year, so it could work. But J-Mo's was way up. He had the 6th highest average route depth among 82 wide receivers with 20 or more routes run. The guys ahead of him were Jalen Naylor. So the Vikings are always going to be high on this list, it seems. But Jalen Naylor, Tyquan Thornton, Trey Tucker, De'Ami Brown, Alec Pierce, and then Jameson Williams, then George Pickens, Kayshon Boutte, then DJ Moore. The Bears are also typically high on that list, and Josh Reynolds. But I don't know. Like, we want to see Jameson Williams do less of just that downfield stuff. His ADOT was low, but he didn't have that many targets, only at 5. But, yeah, I don't know. It's something to keep an eye on, I guess.
Is that stat, Adam, from last week or last year?
Last week.
Okay.
Week 1.
Yeah, I don't know what the Lions were thinking. I talked about it already.
Right. DK Metcalf and RJ. Okay, sorry, Jamie. So RJ Harvey, DK Metcalf, and Matthew Golden are the 3 others on your list here.
I'll just lump the 2 rookies together because it's easy. I think clearly we all fall for this as anything when you get the shiny new toy. The expectations for rookies get out of control, and they disappointed in week 1. Harvey is going to get much more work. I can't imagine Sean Payton on down watching him play, and the phrase we use all the time, you can't keep that in the box too long. Like, J.K. Dobbins did some nice things, but RJ Harvey is going to continue to get more work, and you have a very small window to get him at this point at a relatively cheap cost, whatever that cost may be. But I would, like, if I could turn Alvin Kamara into RJ Harvey, I would do that.
Whoa. Okay, well, I bet you could do that.
Yeah.
Oh, we should ask Dave about speaking of Alvin Kamara. We'll do it when we get to the sell high section. Never mind.
Okay.
But we got an Alvin Kamara trade offer.
I can't believe that you want to accept it. You, of all people, want to trade.
Well, I don't want to anymore because we got Harold Fannin.
Yeah, all right, we're good. Well, we lost Kittle, so. All right, DK Metcalf was shadowed by Sauce Gardner, had 4.
Well, again, just Golden. More targets will be coming. I think there's too huge an opportunity for him to be good to, again, not feature him a little bit more.
I just want to say with Golden, though, I mean, and maybe even Harvey, when are you expecting to be able to start these guys?
I'm probably still going to start Golden this week in 3 receiver leagues. So with the hope of, maybe a shootout this week against the Commanders and how that offense should operate. Harvey's going to be a flex. So a little bit more patient with him, but still excited.
Week 6 on Golden, week 7 on Harvey.
Week 6 and 7. Wow.
That's after the bye week for Green Bay. Denver's bye week is late in the year, but they have a couple of tough run defenses in front of them in weeks 5 and 6. And so by then, Dobbins will probably be beat up a little bit. Harvey will get his opportunity. And Jamie's right. Like, go look and see that Harvey long run that he had.
Yeah.
I don't understand how Sean Payton doesn't use more of him moving forward.
Okay. Well, okay. I think it's 2 different viewpoints here, because if you're really not starting Harvey until around week 5 or 6, at least planning on it, obviously things can change in a second. But then I wouldn't be buying low on someone that I was just going to well, I mean, you could, but you're not going to get for something so cheap where you're just going to be able to stashing him. All right, Heath, your buy lows: Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift, and Terry McLaurin. Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift, Terry McLaurin. Go for it.
These are all probably pretty easy to explain. Maybe the running backs are the most difficult because they were very inefficient in their first game, but they also got almost all of the touches. And I don't think anybody in Chicago or Tennessee is changing that. I expect the matchups to be better moving forward than they were for Pollard against the Broncos and Swift against the Vikings. Love the usage, hated the production. Do not, like, when I went through my projections this week, for the most part, except for rookies and maybe guys in new situations that we had some questions about, I don't adjust efficiency off of 1 week. When you go look at somebody's game log and their yards per carry, there's going to be a 7-yard week. There's going to be a 2-yard week. There's going to be a bunch of 3s and 4s. Don't adjust efficiency off of 1 week. The usage was great. They're going to be okay. At quarterback, I thought Dak was pretty awesome against the Eagles. He had some drops. Again, not going to face the Eagles this week. He's going to face the Giants, and everybody's going to think he's a top 8 quarterback again after this week. So if you can go get Dak before then, you should do that. He's a top 8 quarterback for me in my week 2 rankings. Terry McLaurin, Jamie talked about it a lot. The slow start at the beginning of the year expected for guys that held out. McLaurin had that slow start. I love Deebo Samuel, but Deebo Samuel is not going to out-target him 9-3 on a regular basis. This will come back around for McLaurin. And maybe you have to wait 1 more week. Maybe you have to wait 2 more weeks. But he'll be a guy that you start every week soon enough.
McLaurin was another guy that had a much higher average route depth than usual. And I haven't been tracking that where I would know how much it fluctuates from week to week. But 10.7 average route depth for McLaurin. Last year it was 9.7. It's a big jump. So my thought was, oh boy, is that because like they have Deebo Samuel now to do some of the other stuff and he's just going to be more of a downfield guy? But I think that'd be an overreaction after
they were close on a long touchdown. Would have been a 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah, no, he completely destroyed. I think it was Paulson Adebo on that. It was wide open, 71-yard touchdown.
Wide open. Jaden Daniels overthrew him. I thought that if they had been practicing in camp together for a couple of weeks, they would have nailed that.
Probably, yeah.
Right. I got laughed at for saying that by somebody.
Well, whatever.
It's okay. It'll be a touchdown in 2 weeks. That's the point.
I was watching the Bucs tape this morning, and I was going to myself, Baker's not really playing very well. And then I looked at PFF, and he had one of the lowest grades of the week. He had the 4th lowest passing grade of the week, Baker Mayfield. He's on Heath's sell high list, probably for different reasons, along with Kamara, Pittman, and Marvin Harrison. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'll get to those guys in just a second. I just wanted to put you at ease a little bit. Terry McLaurin had 8 games last year with an average route depth deeper than 10 yards.
Oh, okay.
So it did bounce around a little bit. It's going to be okay. I probably may just sound insane all season long because I said in the preseason, there's no way Baker Mayfield can keep up that ridiculous touchdown rate. And then in week 1, it was an even higher touchdown rate. Yeah. But I think you're right. Other than the fact that he threw 3 touchdown passes, which is kind of like, how was the play? It was not quite as good a performance from Baker Mayfield as I would like to see. I don't like him very much this week. I still don't think he's going to be a top 6 quarterback. He was top 4 last year. There's probably a lot of people who do, though, because he did it last year. He did it again in week 1. So if you could sell him, I would. Alvin Kamara, as we talked about on Sunday night, I'm very concerned about his target share in the Kellen Moore offense. He may not have as big a split between his half PPR and full PPR value as I thought he was going to. And other than the touchdown, not a very encouraging game for him, considering how the touches were split up. Michael Pittman's going to face the Broncos this week, and then who knows what the Colts pass offense is actually like. So if I could get something for him that I wanted to start, I would love that. And I still just kind of think the Marvin Harrison Jr. is Marvin Harrison Jr. And he got 6 targets. He caught 5 of them and a touchdown. So he had a great day. There's going to be a lot of weeks where he gets 6 targets and catches 3 of them.
So he was open a lot. I showed on Beyond the Box Score, Marvin Harrison Jr., 4 plays where he was wide open, got only targeted on 1 of them. But actually, just more on the route depth, his average route depth was much lower than it was last year. And I do think that's encouraging. The target share, target per route run rate, not encouraging for Harrison. But they gave him a wide receiver screen, right? They would pretty much never did that last year. Hit him in the end zone. He got the end zone targets last year. He got one this year. I don't know. I'm kind of intrigued enough to see where it goes.
Same. But I still think the problem is Kyler, because Kyler missed him on a deep target. That
at the very end,
it's still going to be a little concerning. So if you want to go and if you're going to sell high on Marvin Harrison, make sure you sell high enough. And if you buy low on, well, you're not really buying low on Marvin Harrison. I think if you have Marvin Harrison, you shouldn't get rid of him unless somebody's just crazy enough to get him.
Maybe you could get AJ Brown for him.
Yeah, I would do that.
Okay, how about Tyreek Hill versus Marvin Harrison?
I'm not trading for Tyreek Hill right now.
I'd rather have Marvin. Yeah,
they have the same value on the trade chart right now.
How about TreVeyon Henderson or Marvin Harrison?
Henderson for me.
I think that's what you need.
Okay. How about Omarion Hampton or Marvin Harrison?
Same.
I have Hampton ahead. I have Hampton ahead and Henderson at the same value in PPR.
Heath, we were offered, we lost Kittle. We were offered Kamara and Hawkinson for Omarion Hampton in a half PPR league. And then we ended up picking up Fannin.
So we don't need Hawkinson anymore because we have somebody better.
I just couldn't believe that you were even considering that.
Well, I wonder what the trade chart says.
Trade chart is way in favor of Kamara and Hawkinson.
That's what I expected.
Here's the thing. Okay, and just not to criticize the trade chart, but when you get 2 values over 1, a lot of times it's going to weigh, it's going to favor the 2 for one side, but you still might be giving up the best player in the deal. And then you have to say, well, who am I replacing that second player with? So for us, it's Hawkinson, it's a 10-team league. We'll be able to stream tight ends. So I just didn't, and Kittle will be back in 4 weeks, hopefully. So just consider that with the trade chart. You can lose on the trade chart if you're giving up 2 to get 1.
What I suggest is for a 2 for 1, you need to win the trade by more than 10%. And this is with the dynasty trade chart. So Dave may have a different formula. And a 3 for 1, you need to win it by at least 20%.
It's 10% for a 3 for 1. And it's even up in a 2 for 1. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the trade chart.
What a great team name from Thomas Schaefer. If you had Fannin and Kamara, Harold and Kamara, that's very good. Jamie, your sell highs: Breece Hall, Javonte Williams, Emeka Egbuka, and Keon Coleman.
Actually made a trade offer for Dave in our podcast league. Breece Hall for Jackson Smith and Egbuka. His running backs are terrible. We have a surplus of running backs. I looked at his trade chart. JSN is valued less than Breece Hall.
Mm-hmm.
So see if Dave's going to
follow. I will huddle with my co-manager and get back to you.
Don't do it, Dave.
Why?
I'm surprised that Breece Hall's got a higher value than JSN. I mean, what an encouraging week for JSN.
Oh, yes, no question. I thought you were going to say what an encouraging week for Breece Hall.
Right. I wouldn't give up JSN for Breece Hall, but okay, it's obviously close.
Yeah. And before the bad Breece Hall news, they were being drafted in pretty much the same spot. They were both round 3 picks.
Right. Not by us, but in the ADP. You're correct.
Well, they were in my rankings.
Oh, okay. That's true.
All right. So Jamie, talk about this Breece Hall selling high.
Listen, he was awesome. But this may be the best value you can get for him at this point, just based on what I think could still be a little bit of a problem, slight problem, but it's the trap back situation of, is he going to catch enough passes? He only had 2. And is he going to get the goal line work? Because he lost the rushing touchdown. Now, he did have some goal line opportunities, or, inside the 5 opportunities. But if he does not run as well as he did, are we looking at a little bit of a down performance for him? So just maximizing value. I think, look, it was obviously amazing to see the way that he performed and his usage, but just worried that he's not going to get enough receptions or touchdowns. It could be slight issue moving forward. For Javonte, it's clear, just try and sell high on a player like this anytime you can. Egbuka, again, similar situation to Breece Hall. Is this the best game that he's going to have all season? Godwin's coming back eventually. Mike Evans will be better. As Heath said, we could get the Baker Mayfield regression. So there's a lot of things working, not necessarily against Egbuka. He was fantastic coming off the strong preseason performance, but that was also against Atlanta. And then Keon Coleman, I'm curious what's going to happen this week, based on how the Jets will play him, and may have been his best game. So a very encouraging performance in week 1, but can you again maximize value for players that were drafted a little bit later?
And it's funny because, look, we liked Egbuka and we liked Coleman, and then they go out and they rewarded us with big week 1s, and now we're telling you to trade them. But you really need to get something very good for them. And Coleman had 7 catches, 95 yards, and a touchdown in the 4th quarter in a game where Josh Allen threw 46 passes, and he averaged 30 pass attempts per game last year. And yeah, obviously their schedule is so freaking easy going forward that they're not. I don't project that they're going to have to throw that much. That's not their identity, the Bills. So I get it. I think with Egbuka though, like, just hear me out on this, right? Comes out, first game of the year, catches 2 touchdowns, first game of his career. Chris Godwin is coming back from a gruesome injury and then a second unplanned surgery after that. I don't know what my expectations could be for him. Evans is 32, although he was also shadowed mostly by AJ Terrell.
Drew a lot of double teams as well, including on both of the touchdowns to Egbuka.
Why am I giving up on Emeka Egbuka? I mean, what? Not giving up. That's the wrong word.
No. It's not giving up. Somebody posted in the chat, Egbuka for T. Higgins. Like, you make that trade in a heartbeat if somebody offers that to you. So I got offered a terrible trade in one of the leftover leagues of Xavier Worthy and Cam Scadaboo for Egbuka. Like, never would I.
Okay, would you trade Egbuka for Omari and Hampton?
Again, Hampton, I think that comes down to what you need.
No.
So would I trade Egbuka to get Hampton, or would I trade Hampton to get Egbuka?
No, would you trade Egbuka to get Hampton?
Yes.
Heath,
Yeah.
no?
I don't think so.
Really? Is that because you're so high in Egbuka or kind of low on Hampton?
I think I'm maybe a little bit of both.
Okay.
I certainly wouldn't trade Egbuka to get Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I could see it. You're just totally out on Tyreek Hill.
By
the way, like, doesn't this present a good, like a buy low on Jalen Waddle, or no?
Yes, I think he was almost on my buy low list, and I'm not. Like I said, I'm probably, if I have Tyreek Hill, I'm starting him this week, and I'm just praying.
Yeah,
because it's like the Patriots just gave up 364 yards to Geno Smith.
Yeah,
their pass defense might be awful.
Well, Christian Gonzalez didn't play, and he's expected to return this week, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Maybe that'll fix everything, but
it's going to shadow Tyreek Hill. He did. I'm pretty sure he did last year. We'll have to go back and watch that tape. All right. Sorry, we have to Dave's buy lows, sell highs. Dave's sell highs. Zay Flowers, 9 targets on 19 pass attempts. Travis Etienne, J.K. Dobbins, Deebo Samuel. Oh, I hope we're aiming very high with these guys, Dave.
Well, that's the point. You're not going to give them away for nothing. But we've seen enough of Zay Flowers to know that he does have games like this, and then he comes right back the next week and has 4 catches for 40 yards and no touchdowns. You could definitely try and shoot high for all these guys. That's the point of selling high. It's not give away, it's sell high. And so I think Zay Flowers is one of those players where you shouldn't expect this on a week-to-week basis, and I think we know that by now. Etienne is a sell very high. We know what his track record is. I think he only has the one great year for fantasy managers, and otherwise he takes on injuries and there's other things that slow him down. Why would this year be any different? We're all very excited about what Bashal Tutin could eventually be. He's still in Jacksonville. So I wonder how long Travis Etienne will be a must-start type of fantasy running back, J.K. Dobbins, it's just the inverse of R.J. Harvey and why we like him. And then Deebo Samuel, the inverse of Terry McLaurin. He had a great game in week 1. And I really like how they game planned for him, or how they schemed him up in the offense is what I really should have said. I don't know if Deebo's going to be able to keep this up for very long, and we know about his injury history as well. He's the one that I would sell for like the least amount in return, which is easy to say because he's the one that we drafted last.
You like Dobbins better than him?
Dobbins better than
Deebo?
No, Deebo's worth more on the trade chart. I would just try and get out from Dobbins before he has an RJ Harvey problem.
Okay. I'm sorry, because you said Deebo's the one you'd sell for the least. So that made me think.
No, obviously, I should have said that about Dobbins first.
Okay.
Obviously, you're going to get a lot less for Dobbins than you will for Deebo.
I got a little pushback on Zay Flowers. And just because if we go another week where the tight ends just are not the focal point of the pass offense, and Zay Flowers hasn't quite had games like that. It was a career high in receiving yards and his second highest target share in a game ever. And it wasn't because they were chasing the score. Even though they lost, they were up 2 scores for most of that game. He was just awesome. And he's a year 3 wide receiver who was a first-round pick.
Egbuka or Flowers?
Egbuka.
Flowers.
I'll take Egbuka.
All right. So recapping it, buy lows, got some rookie running backs on there. Henderson and Harvey were mentioned. A.J. Brown, Jameson Williams, Calvin Ridley, Travis Hunter, DK Metcalf, Matthew Golden. A lot of rookies. We're still bullish on the rookies. Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift, Terry McLaurin. Sell highs, Baker Mayfield. Obviously, this is not everybody agreed on everything. Baker Mayfield, Kamara, Pittman, Marvin Harrison Jr., that one we had a little disagreement on. Breece Hall, we were the lowest in the world collectively on Breece Hall. His ADP didn't fall as much as it did for us, as the rankings did for Dave, Jamie, and Heath, and where we were all drafting him. So if you can buy into what we're saying, that the trap back issues here, I think this is the guy you could get a king's ransom for, because a lot of people were still really, really bought into Breece Hall. Maybe everyone's right and we're wrong, but people were really bought into Breece Hall. Javonte Williams, Emeka, Egbuka, Keon Coleman, Zay Flowers, Travis Etienne, J.K. Dobbins, Deebo Samuel. And maybe a rule of thumb is to try to, just to throw this out there, because I don't want to, say, just sell high on these guys, then you're giving away for nothing. Try to get 2 rounds better than what you drafted them for. We start with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Unless you drafted Alvin Kamara in round 3, that's probably not going to work.
Okay. Nico Collins for him. I mentioned I mentioned all the shadowing that I noticed. Sauce Gardner on Metcalf, Patrick Surtain on Ridley, AJ Terrell, not exactly shadowing Evans, but a lot of it. And then the one that surprised me was Stingley, because I feel like he wasn't much of a shadower last year, and he shadowed Devontae Adams, and I think that's really important to note. We're going to take a break and talk about Washington at Green Bay. We're going to grade your trades, and I have fantasy cops too. And we'll be right back on Fantasy Football Today.
I wasn't ready to die.
The wait is over.
I need to know what happened.
Discover the mystery everyone's been talking about. School Spirits, every episode of all seasons now streaming on Paramount+.
Okay. I don't really understand this comment. Where does Adam live? Alaska? Oh, because I'm wearing a sweater. It's cold, man. It's like
Shirt has been a very big topic of conversation again.
It should be. I can't really do the live long.
Listen, you boldly go where no man has gone before.
Adam is wearing a cryogenic universal space uniform. Yeah, this is the one that I didn't realize until I wore it on the show. That looks exactly like the Star Trek blue shirt. I've never.
At least you know you're safe. The red is the one when you know you're going to be in trouble.
Okay, that's good to know. It's
whenever they asked the guys wearing red to go to a different planet, you know they weren't coming back.
Is that right?
Yep.
Never seen an episode in my life. I remember liking the movie though, the first one. Okay, let's get into the game here. Dave,
the Shatner first one or the Chris Pike first one?
Which one?
The William Shatner first one?
No.
The original crew?
No, I didn't know that existed. No, the one that came out probably when I was like a teenager.
You like the one with Darth Vader?
Yeah, the Darth Vader was great. All right, Dave. Washington at Green Bay Thursday night.
Nah.
Competing stats of the game. In their last 7 games of the regular season, the Green Bay Packers allowed 3.2 yards per carry to running backs. I didn't really make much of it because they traded away their best defensive tackle. But then they allowed 2.2 yards per carry to the Packers running backs in week 1. Meanwhile, the other side of that is among 48 running backs in week 1.
To the Packers running backs? The Lions.
To the Lions, sorry. The Packers allowed 2.2 yards per carry to the Lions running backs. So anyway, going back to the last half of the season and week 1, great run defense. On the other side of that, how about the Commanders' offensive line? Among 48 running backs with at least 5 carries in week 1, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt ranked 2nd in yards before contact per carry behind Trey Benson. Austin Eckler was 14th. So they dominated up front. So, look, there are going to be a lot of easy calls. I don't know, there are going to be some easy calls in this game. Daniels, Jacobs. Who else? Is that it?
A lot of easy calls in this game. Here are 2.
Yeah, I guess there really aren't as many as I thought. Deebo, I feel like everyone's going to start, but
Sure.
but yeah, what about
I don't know if he's going to be started across the board in 2 receiver leagues.
who?
Deebo.
Yeah, probably not. How about Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, starter sit, and Eckler, because the Packers do give up last year and in week 1 a lot of catches to running backs.
I feel like this could be a tough game for Bill.
I agree.
I'm Eckler over Bill, and neither one's better than a low end flex.
Perfect.
Okay, so the easy starts are Daniel.
Now that's assuming Eckler plays. If Eckler doesn't play, then we'll see what they do with their pass catching running backs. Last year it was great for Robinson when Eckler did not play. Will it be
all right, so the easy ones are Daniels and Jacobs. Even if Jacobs might have a tough matchup, I don't know. The Commanders were so good in week 1, but still, everyone's going to start those guys. Heath, are there any other easy calls for you in this game?
No, I wouldn't say. In fact, there's not even a lot of easy sits for me in this game. Everyone is a borderline starter.
Great.
Except unless you're in a 3 wide receiver league, and then Deebo's must start.
Right now, we're Deebo over McLaurin.
Yes.
Yep.
I'll take McLaurin.
Okay. What about, did any of the Packers wide receivers crack your top 36?
No.
Jaden Reed's on the injury report with his foot. That's probably going to be a norm the entire season. If for whatever reason he sits, then I think you can get more excited about Golden and Dobbs.
Okay.
And I will say this, just in terms of must starts, I'm going to guess most people are still starting Tucker Kraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a low end starter.
I have Tucker Kraft and Zach Ertz both in my top 12 tight ends. I would start Kraft much more enthusiastically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kraft, I mentioned, I think only 4 targets in week 1, but 22 pass attempts for Love. We hopefully will get more competitive game and more pass attempts. And also Kraft played almost every snap. He was the pass catcher who played the most for the Green Bay Packers, followed by Romeo Dobbs. How about Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt or a Packers wide receiver?
Bill.
Well, assuming that Reed's just not actually, let's start Romeo Dobbs over him.
Okay. Would you start any of the waiver wire tight ends, including Kyle Pitts, over the tight ends in this game?
Yep.
It's easily if London is out, and probably if Mooney's out.
Well, we're not going to know either of those things, though.
Yeah. It does put us in a bit of a bind.
I would say if Mooney does not practice, then I would take a chance on Pitts, or at least have a backup plan.
Okay. Starters at Jordan Love. Oh, wait. What about Fannin? What about Jawan Johnson against, sorry, Thomas, to go to the quarterbacks there. We'll go back to the tight ends. What about Fannin and Jawan Johnson, Hunter Henry against Ertz and Kraft?
I would take Johnson over all of them for this week, and probably Fannin over Ertz.
I have Kraft, Johnson, Fannin, Ertz.
I've got Kraft as a start. The more I think about it, I'm probably going to have Fannin over all of them. And Johnson's ahead of Ertz.
Fan of the Flames. Starters at Jordan Love.
I'd set him.
Borderline top 12 guy. Really tough decision. But I kind of want to start him.
Can we just clip that and play it every week for Jordan Love?
Yep.
Well, I think maybe you try to play the pass attempts game. He really looked terrific. But I think anyone, hopefully you agree with me, the offensive line for the Green Bay Packers was great last week. I mean, they really didn't have much trouble with Detroit, but they could be missing 2 starters. I'd actually be pretty excited to start Love if the line were healthy, because I think he's going to have to throw more than 22 times. But with those injuries, it does really complicate things for me anyway.
Agreed.
All right, we have like a JJ McCarthy, or I'm looking at some of the chat questions. McCarthy against Atlanta or Love?
Love.
I'll take McCarthy.
Dave,
McCarthy for me.
McCarthy. Baker Mayfield at Houston or Love?
Baker.
Love for me.
Baker by a mile.
Baker by a mile. Okay. Where is Love in the rankings for you guys?
13, 12.
Like 18?
24.
Holy moly.
Wow.
Yeah. Offensive line. I think the Commanders' pass rush will get to him a little bit. I think they'll run the ball a lot more
right now. Did you make your levels?
Dave wants to make a point right now, Adam.
Yeah.
Listen.
I don't mean to be loud, but I do have like dueling lawnmowers going outside. So I'm trying to maybe talk louder than them, and that's what's happening.
I'm going to use that next time I want to make a point. I'm just going to turn my volume all the way up.
Are they in your living room?
They might as well be.
I can't hear you. I can't
We're
hear
0% of the lawnmowers, all of you.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. Sorry, everybody. I didn't mean to hurt your ears. On the plus side, my grass is just in incredible shape right now.
Why are you so low on Jordan Love?
Because of the offensive line, and I think the pressure gets to him. He's terrible when he's pressured. So I think that's going to be an issue. And I think the Commanders have an underrated defense.
Where's McLaurin in your rankings?
High-end number 3 receiver.
Low end number 3 receiver.
Yeah, I think same.
So is Deebo the highest ranked receiver in this game?
Yes.
For me.
And who's second?
McLaurin.
I have Terry first, Deebo second.
Okay. I'm going to read some questions now from the chat. Hopefully this will help clear things up for people. Jordan Love or Michael Penix?
Penix.
Jordan Love.
Love.
JCM or Dylan Sampson, half PPR?
Is Judkins playing?
Don't know. Won't know by Thursday.
I would play JCM in this format.
Bill.
I'm going to play Sampson.
Golden or Coleman?
Keon.
Coleman.
Dobbs, Douglas, or Downs?
Dobbs.
Yeah.
If it's full PPR, I think I'll take Downs.
Tucker Kraft or Ingram?
I mean, you have to play
Ingram
Kraft in your turn.
Right.
And Kraft anyway.
Kraft or Laporta?
Laporta.
Sam.
Sutton or Deebo?
Sutton.
Krosky Merritt or Warren?
Warren.
Calvin Ridley?
Rich Warren.
Jalen Warren.
Either one.
Yeah, either one is right.
Ridley or Dobbs?
Ridley.
Love or Mayfield?
Love.
Mayfield.
Okay. All right. That's it. Oh, Packers DST?
Low end starter.
Yep.
I'm not dropping them.
Start the Rams over them?
Yes.
But yeah, I'm not dropping them, and I'm not carrying 2 defenses at this point in the season, probably.
They are at Cleveland next week, so you'll probably want them for that. And that is it for Thursday Night Football. We have got to talk about Ken Walker. I have a segment called Get Out Now. Try to sell these guys while they still have some value. Tyreek Hill, I think we've talked about enough.
You
Ken
guys
Walker?
really hear nothing.
No, nothing. You're good.
He's literally a foot away from me with
He's like, what?
like a giant.
You have grass in your
blower.
house?
Bring him on the air. Go get him.
The good news, all of the
You want me
mics
to bring him
that
on
we
the air?
use-
Yeah.
Okay.
All the mics that we use are very unidirectional. Get out of there, Dave. We're not getting out of the air. They don't pick up much, so that's a good thing. We got to talk about Ken Walker.
Hey, I'm on a podcast right now. Do you want to come on the air and say hi? I'm on a podcast right now. Do you want to come on the air and say hi?
I'm sorry if you're not watching on
All right.
YouTube
Don't
and
worry.
you're just
I'll do it.
listening. This is
I did not
Dave.
expect him to actually do it.
Yeah. He's I don't think the guy wanted to come on.
Yeah, he's all about the lawn and not fantasy football.
No
It's all
trouble.
about the lawn, no trouble.
Exactly. All right, Ken Walker. I think he needs to be a part of this show. I was going to ask, how would you rank these three rest of season? Travis Etienne, RJ Harvey, Ken Walker.
Etienne, Harvey, Walker.
Wow.
I have no idea.
But I kind of get it.
Oh, now I hear the lawn
Now we
mowing.
Yeah, Dave left the door open.
I open the window, not close the window.
Everything's closed. It's right back where it was. I'll mute myself. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, no, I think Ken Walker is one of the biggest losers of the week. And Charbonnet got more carries than him. Charbonnet played third down. Charbonnet played near the goal line. So I had rest of season Etienne, Harvey, Walker. Heath, you said you have no idea.
I don't think we have enough information. And I know like some people have to. I'm just not really doing anything with Walker. I'm not buying low and I'm not selling high. I don't know how much of the foot is still a problem or if or when that's going to heal. I don't know if the Seahawks offense was not like a serious offensive game plan. They are not going to do what they did that week every week of the season. So I don't know.
I think that first off, if you have Zach Charbonnet, you got to feel pretty good after week one. That's the biggest takeaway I think from the Seahawks backfield. The other part of it, I think Keith is right. Like nobody is giving you fair value for Ken Walker right now, and you hope that he's just going to become the guy that we were expecting to see in the guy that we drafted. But it's hard to have that expectation after what happened last week and knowing how sort of the offseason unfolded. And I think it started to come to light, Adam, with the ESPN report, right, that we kept referencing.
Yeah.
Of the team really likes Charbonnet. He's showing up every day for practice. Walker's got this foot problem. How much of it is still an issue? Like, there's just a lot of things that are unknown. And so I think just in the case of the other two guys, there's still an unknown with Harvey. Dave gave you a potential plan of when you can start him. I'm a little bit more optimistic. I would, hopefully get better production from him soon, rather than week 5 or 6, whatever the number was. I think in the case of Etienne, like you got the clarity you wanted. Like they got rid of a guy to make him the featured running back for now, and then to open up touches for the guys behind him. It's going to be fascinating. Like these are the type of things that are franchise altering decisions for in some cases, because Etienne's in a contract year. If he plays like this, he's going to really force their hand, because what will they do this offseason? If Tootin does not show anything special, or even, Allen shows anything special, like they're going to have to pay Etienne, whether they franchise tag him or not. They're going to have to make some sort of contractual decision on him. It's just something that's going to be interesting to see. But he looked unreal in the first game for Liam Cohen, and reminded us, I think, of what the 2023 version of Travis Etienne could be. Maybe this was his best game, and he's definitely a sell-high candidate, but he's got the best situation right now of these three guys.
The line played great in Jacksonville, too. I thought that Walker was still faster than Charbonnet, but every time he stopped his feet, it took him like at that extra second to like gather himself and like plant and go. And that's when all of his runs basically ended. So if he's got a lane, Walker can hit it, and he'll do better at that than Charbonnet will. But if he's got to cut and evade defenders, he got hit in the backfield a bunch. And it was the Niners, and Seahawks offensive line wasn't great, but there's some concerning things about Walker based on what he looked like in the first game.
Okay. All right. Let's grade some trades from our audience. From Daniel, I would give up. Not sure what side he's on.
That's good.
I received an offer. Okay. Ken Walker and Neighbors I think he would get Walker and Neighbors for Nico and TreVeyon Henderson. I have Charbonnet.
Get Walker Neighbors for Henderson. Who?
And Nico Collins. I don't like that.
I'd rather have Nico and Henderson.
Yeah.
I think I would too.
Yeah.
It might be dead even on the trade chart.
I get the appeal of trying to get Walker when you have Charbonnet, but I think that's too much. We all think so. From Paps.
Like, would you rather have Charbonnet and Henderson?
Yeah. Grade the trade from Paps. 4 point per passing touchdown. Give up Bo Nix, get Patrick Mahomes.
C+.
Yeah.
Weird that you're able to make that trade right now. D-Rock, give up Diggs for Tucker Kraft in a PPR tight end premium league.
B+.
I like it if you're getting Kraft.
Yeah.
Scott Morrow, give up Hollywood Brown in full PPR, get Jalen Warren.
Yeah, I like that if you're getting Warren.
Yeah, B.
From Dan99, Jets Giants Fantasy. A lot going on there. Non-PPR gave up Tyler Warren and Marquise Brown for Calvin Ridley. I have Brock Bowers.
Too much for Ridley.
D.
Warren and who?
Tyler Warren and Hollywood Brown for Calvin Ridley. And he doesn't need Warren. Okay. From Christopher, TreVeyon Henderson and Brock Bowers for Chase Brown, PPR.
It's overpay.
D.
C minus.
TreVeyon and Bowers for who?
Chase Brown.
Like, does he already have Harold Fannin or something? F.
Yeah.
Did you see my stat about Harold Fannin, Heath?
Which one?
Last 10 years.
That shirt is so amazing.
Rookie tight ends in week 1. I'm going to go get the tweet.
Captain's log. Harold Fannin has a 1 week stat that makes him just as good as all the other tight ends in the fantasy universe.
keep making fun of me. I have to get this tweet pulled up here. Shouldn't be hard for you.
Come
guys.
on, chat. We need a Harold Fannin Star Trek team name. You can do it.
All right. We're going to share this screen. How was your Tuesday?
Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, I'm a tight end, not a doctor.
That's
Guys, enough already. He's giving it all he's got.
That damn it, whatever is from Star Trek.
God damn it, Jim. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Here are over the last 10 seasons. Tight ends.
Check your notifications.
Rookie tight ends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Rookie tight ends in week 1 who ran at least 20 routes. Guys who got the highest target per route run rate.
Vacations.
Tyler Warren. Look at Tyler Warren, 37.5% target per route run rate. He's number 1. He has the highest target per route run rate of any rookie tight end in week 1 over the last 10 years. Harold Fannin Jr. is 2nd, followed by Kyle Pitts, Brock Bowers, Will Dissly, TJ Hawkinson, Sam Laporta. And if I go even farther down the list, George Kittle is 8 there. And then,
you know, I the most common negative response I've had to the Harold Fannin love fest is this is Isaiah Likely from week 1 last year. And that's a possibility. It's also a possibility that it's Brock Bowers from week 1 last year.
It's just so hard with all these targets. But as I mean, I'm just going to keep giving the stats I gave on the CBS Sports Network show. If you missed that one, the Browns led the NFL in plays 2 years in a row. Ran the most plays in football. And
Joe Flacco has averaged 42 pass attempts per game with the Browns.
Yeah.
That's the concern, though. If they sit him, it's so bad. I think it's so bad for everyone.
Maybe.
Okay,
Yeah, I think Dylan Gabriel can throw it 5 yards to Harold Fannin.
Well,
it might be bad for everybody running more than 5 yards away.
Isn't that the question? Like, is what Cleveland did offensively in week 1 what they're going to do every week, which is, not really lean on the run game and try and just get the ball out of Flacco's hands as fast as possible. And they did it against Cincinnati, which, good pass rush, but otherwise, I don't think we were writing home about the Bengals defense being particularly good. Likely was a byproduct of a week 1 matchup. That's why he had the game that he had and why we didn't necessarily see that again. But if we think this is the identity of the Browns offense and this is just going to be high volume dink and dink passing, then yeah, Fannin is could be really good.
I mean, I feel like Fannin was basically their slot receiver.
Yep.
And
One of
occasionally they're Wildcat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. We've got starter sit for the AFC home games on tomorrow's episode, and then we're on CBS Sports Network at 1 p.m. Eastern. And you can watch it, even though I will not be on it, Jamie, just to let everyone know.
So nice of you.
All right. Have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow on FFT.